The warning is not that AI agents are useless. It is worse than that. The warning is that they might become useful enough to get real permissions before they are safe enough to deserve them. That is the uncomfortable message from a new Five Eyes guidance document covered by the Register today. Cyber agencies from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand are telling organizations to slow down on agentic AI, especially in critical infrastructure and defense. And here's the part that matters outside government. The risk is not just a smarter chatbot giving a bad answer. It is a system that can touch tools, call APIs, read data, write data, install patches, move files, and trigger workflows. In other words, it can make the kind of mistake that has a blast radius. The agencies put it bluntly. Until security practices, evaluation methods, and standards mature, organizations should assume agentic AI systems may behave unexpectedly. That sounds cautious. It is actually a design rule. Because once an AI agent connects to real systems, you no longer have one risk. You have a chain: the model, the prompt, the plugin, the permissions, the database, the cloud account, the logs, the human who thought this was just a productivity experiment. Every connection is another door. Every door is another way for a mistake, a malicious prompt, or a bad configuration to become operational damage. The guidance gives a painfully simple example. Imagine an AI agent that is allowed to install software patches. Reasonable, right? You want security updates to happen faster, but then someone gives it broad write permissions. A user asks it to apply patches and, while it is at it, clean up firewall logs. The agent does both. Not because it is evil, because the permissions allowed it. The instruction looked like part of the job, and nobody built a hard stop. That is the real lesson. Agent risk is often not about intelligence, it is about authority. A weak chatbot can give a bad answer. A weak agent with production access can take the bad answer and do something with it. This is why the Five Eyes agencies are pushing a very different success metric. Not how much faster can the agent make the team, more like, can the organization reverse what the agent just did? That is a huge shift. For the last couple of years, the AI sales pitch has been speed. Faster coding, faster support, faster analysis, faster operations. But when a system can act on your behalf, speed is not the first metric. Resilience is. Can you contain the action? Can you audit it? Can you roll it back? Can you prove which human was accountable? Can the agent stop and escalate when the situation gets weird? That last part is important. The document urges vendors to make systems fail safe by default, with agents stopping and escalating uncertain issues to human reviewers. Not fail spectacularly, not fail silently, fail safe. And this is where the story becomes practical. If you run a company or even a small team, you do not need a philosophical debate about whether agents are conscious. You need a permissions map. What can this agent read? What can it write? What can it delete? What can it send outside the company? What actions require approval? What logs are immutable? What happens if the agent is tricked by a prompt inside an email, a support ticket, a document, or a web page? That is the new checklist. The agencies reportedly list 23 risks and more than 100 best practices. That sounds bureaucratic, but the reason it is a lot is that agentic AI is not one product category. It is a new layer sitting on top of many product categories at once. An agent is part assistant, part intern, part script, part integration platform, and part very fast button pusher. So the security model cannot just be, we trust the model. It has to be, we do not trust any single layer enough to let it break the whole system. That matters beyond defense and critical infrastructure. The same pattern shows up in normal businesses. A sales agent touching CRM records, a finance agent reading invoices, a support agent issuing refunds, a coding agent changing deployment settings, a marketing agent pushing campaigns to customers. Each one looks small in isolation. Together, they create a new operational surface area. So the next few months will separate two kinds of AI adoption. The first kind is demo adoption. Look, the agent did the task. Great clip, great slide deck. Everyone claps. The second kind is production adoption. The agent did the task. We know why. We know what it touched. We know who approved it. We can reverse it. And if it gets confused, it stops. That second version is slower. It is less magical. It is also the version serious organizations will actually keep. So my verdict is this. The Five Eyes warning is not anti-AI. It is anti-pretend production. If an agent has no real permissions, it is a helper. If it has real permissions, it needs the same boring machinery we use for every dangerous system. Least privilege, monitoring, rollback, human approval, and clear accountability. The hype says agents will replace busy work. The grown-up version says, maybe. But first, we have to stop giving the intern the master key.